You're listening to episode 6 of the Feed You podcast.
Welcome to the Feed You podcast, giving you the real scoop on raising your business to new heights. Expert education, inspiration, and motivation to fuel your purpose, your passion, and your profits. Here's your host, Elisa Connor.
Welcome to the Feed You podcast. Thanks so much for being here. I am so grateful you all are here, and I am so excited about today's episode. I cannot wait to introduce you to my guest. She is a phenomenal social media marketing genius, as well as a very knowledgeable expert on chatbots, and that's what we're talking about today. So I'm not sure if you're familiar at all with chatbots or what the impact of chatbots can be, but my guest, Kelly Noble Mirabella, is going to talk to us all about chatbots and how they are changing the world of marketing and business, and how you can take advantage very easily, very quickly, of utilizing the chatbot mechanism to grow your business. So we're specifically going to be talking about Facebook chatbots and Facebook Messenger chatbots, and we all have access to Facebook and we all have access to Messenger as a free resource once you create an account. So when you find out some of the statistics behind chatbot conversion versus email or any other marketing conversion, you are going to want to jump on this bandwagon immediately. I am fairly technologically savvy, but Kelly makes it so easy for us to learn and implement this mechanism into our business and into our marketing plan. So let's talk some statistics. When I went and did some research for this episode before I got on, I found that the click-through rate is kind of all over the board for chatbots, but it's somewhere between 15 and 80%. Yeah, I know it's a huge margin, but what's significant about that is most people are finding between 70 and 80% conversion on having people actually click on something that they offer in their chatbot versus email. Email conversion rate, click-through rate, meaning you send an email to somebody that they've opted in for, and then having them click on that link is only around 4%. So even with the low end of chatbots, you're still seeing a much higher conversion rate than you would with email. I'm not saying that chatbots are going to eliminate email at all. There's really no reason to do that, since email is really one of the only open forums still out there. But this is a great way to grow your email list, and better yet, it's a great way to segment and kind of filter down your email based on what your audience personally wants. So if you offer different products or services like I do, I have different products and services, like one is website design and one is branding and one is sales funnels. Well, somebody that's interested in a sales funnel may not be interested in hearing about the website stuff that I do. And as Kelly will talk about, somebody that's focused on Facebook ads may not be interested in her social media manager training. So it's a great way to filter down your list and create a more personal interaction, which is what everybody's looking for, as well as increase your conversion rate. So let me tell you a little bit about Kelly. Kelly Noble Mirabella is an experienced marketing consultant, a vivacious speaker, and a trusted social media guide. For over 8 years, she's concentrated her career on social media for business, teaching social networking skills and online marketing techniques to real estate agents, business owners, and other professionals. And she began with a traditional marketing and customer service background. She immediately recognized the benefit of social media for business long before it became the standard. She's cultivated a successful business since 2010 called Stellar Media Marketing. She caters to nationwide professionals who strive to grow their businesses with online strategies. As of late, she's become a guru in the use of messenger bots and the effectiveness of converting visitors into subscribers. Help me welcome Kelly to the show. Welcome to the Feed You podcast. I am so excited to have one of my favorite people on today, Kelly Noble Mirabella. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to be on your show. Let's do this.
I'm so excited. And Kelly, I follow Kelly very often. She's kind of one of my gurus. I just told her before I got on the call. And she is all about chatbots right now. And chatbots are hot and they are amazing and they're really simple to use. And Kelly has some great training and stuff available for free that I'm sure she'll talk about. But I have invited her on today to get us up to speed on chatbots, because I have a feeling a lot of my audience is really, really new and does not understand the power of chatbots. So before we get started, would you tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got here, and what you do best?
So again, my name's Kelly and I own Stellar Media Marketing. I've been a social media manager and enthusiast for 11 years now. And I've owned my business, Stellar Media Marketing, for 9 of those years. I specialize in social media marketing for small to medium-sized businesses. And I've also been known to help out the occasional entrepreneur and solopreneur, because that's where my passions lie. And for the past year or so, I have been obsessed with chatbots. That's really my thing right now. I mean, I know a lot about social media in general, but sometimes I just get a little obsessed. So that's what I've been doing, and I've just loved bringing trainings to people to teach them how easy they are and how really powerful they are.
Awesome, and I have been sucked right into your chatbot talk. Chatbot talk, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And I followed you before on social media, and Kelly knows she has her poop in a group, as I like to say. She really does. And there are people that say they do, but they don't, but she does. So let's talk about chatbots for sure. Can we just start from the beginning? Like, I have no idea how chatbots work. I've maybe seen one that was like, hey, here are our hours. If you want to get connected, send us a message and we'll get back to you. Let's start with that, and then we can build.
Okay, so the grand scheme of chatbots, just so everyone's on the same page, a chatbot is a conversation that is automated or built out by a human or by artificial intelligence. It can be hosted on Facebook Messenger, which is exactly the topic we're going to really dive into today. It's also things like Google Voice on your phone or Siri. Those are voice activated chatbots. So there's a whole gambit of different types of chatbots, and chatbots have been around since like the 1950s. They've just really been around with this type of technology in the past like 2 or 3 years. And we're going to talk about Facebook chatbots. So Facebook chatbots are all run through a Facebook business page. You do have to have a business page to have one. And they can be as simple as what you were talking about, which is, like maybe a quick menu. When you go to someone's Facebook page, their business page, you might see something pop up like a little message saying, do you want to do this, that, and the other? If you've ever sent a message to a business on Facebook and some kind of like automation comes back saying something as simple as, we'll be right back to you. We usually respond in 24 hours. Or you might be given choices like click here to learn more about this, click here to learn more about this. Those are all chatbots. So the chatbot is kind of like an answering service that we can build out, and they can do so many things, from those really simple things we've talked about to more complex things like webinar registration and funnels and lead magnet delivery and all kinds of things, answering FAQs. So it really is limited only by your imagination. And yes, there are a ton of really poorly built chatbots, and that's because your chatbot is only as good as the person who builds them. And artificial intelligence isn't something we're going to really talk much about today. Technology really isn't there unless you have a lot of money you're willing to throw at it. What we're going to talk about is building chatbots on your own, the tools you can use, and how affordable it is and how really easy it is if you just get started and take baby steps.
Right. So I guess my first question would be, is we're building a chatbot, and we're going to get into some tools in a minute. And I know your favorite, because I have it too.
I know.
But I'm wondering, like, for somebody that's new and they're like, okay, I'm on the chatbot bandwagon, but I don't know, like, how am I going to get people interested in my chatbot? How do I even get them to open it or look at it or talk to it?
Sure. So really basic, the only way you can send a message out is if someone first engages with you. So basically when someone engages with your Facebook Messenger on your business page, they automatically become a subscriber. And those are the people you can send your chatbot messages and stuff. So the question is, how do I get people into this thing? Well, it's the same exact question as you would have, how do I get people on my email list? It's just a little easier to do, actually. And there's the answer is so many ways. So I'll give you a couple examples. You could do a ref URL. This is my personal favorite. It's literally you build a URL that you connect to a chatbot flow. And a chatbot flow is the thing that you build, the messages, the kind of choose your own adventure flow. that you can get people into. So a ref URL is just a type of growth tool where it's a URL that you generate. People would click into it. It would open up Messenger into the flow that you've built. So you could do it very specific reasons. And I love this tool because you could post it on various social networks. You could put it in your email. You could put it on your website as a button. So anywhere you would use a URL, you can use this. And that's one of my favorite ways to do it. Another really common, very popular way of getting people into your chatbot is called a comment growth tool. It's a Facebook comment tool. So if you've ever seen on a post from a page that says, comment below and we'll shoot you a message with XYZ in it, maybe it's a lead magnet or whatever, then that's what that is. They set it up, they connect it to a post, and when someone comments, whether it's a special keyword or really just open commenting, it will shoot them immediately a message in their Facebook Messenger with whatever information you told them that you were going to deliver. Now, those two growth tools out of many are probably the most popular and most effective, and especially when you couple them with things like Facebook Live. So you could do a Facebook Live, and in the Facebook Live, you're talking about chatbots. And I could say, by the way, I have a free checklist that you can get right now if you comment below and let me know what's your biggest issue with chatbots right now, or what's your biggest question. Or I could say, if you put the keyword chatbot or bot buddy or whatever my keyword is below, and it would trigger that thing that I pre-set up, and it would deliver them the lead magnet, it would capture their information, it grows my subscriber list, and I can also segment those people based off that topic. So I know when I have something coming up about chatbots, I could send out a blast to those people saying, hey, you've shown interest in this before, here's a webinar I'm doing, or here's a new lead magnet that you might find interesting. So it really helps you bring people in, and then also engage with your page more, engage with your live videos in this example, and then also it helps you to segment people. So, the more we segment, the more accurate our conversions are going to be, the more excited people are going to be to get our messages, because we're giving them things they actually have interest in. So those are just two really quick examples, very powerful examples on how you can grow your list, but there's so many ways.
So I have, I want you to talk a little bit about the statistics of chatbot messaging opening versus email, because to me that was really powerful information.
Yeah, so email rates, they're all over the board, but generally speaking, most small businesses are seeing open rates between 10 and 15%. If you can get higher than that, go you. In fact, if you're in the 20s, you're like killing it. And those are open rates. So a chatbot open rate, we're finding chatbot open rates anywhere between like 80% and 100%. Most likely you're in the 90 plus, because people are going to get dinged, they're curious, they open it, especially if they know it's coming because we've preempted them, they're going to open that. Now your click-through rates are even lower for email. They're like, 5% or something? It's like ridiculous. And for those of you who don't understand click-through rates, that's when they click on something, a button, a call to action. And that's really what we want people to do generally is, click here to buy something or click here to read something. Well, in chatbots, we're seeing click-through rates of 60% plus. So huge difference. And it's just, there's so much more powerful. And the other thing is there's more people using Messenger every day. I think the last statistic I saw was something like over 1 billion. I want to say it's 1 billion, but it might be 4 billion. I think it's 1 billion. I'll have to double check those stats, but it's like over 1 billion people are using Facebook Messenger. So there's a very good likelihood that your audience is using it. Not to mention, if you're utilizing Facebook business pages, which is where you have to utilize in order to use these chatbots, then anyone who engages with you, they have Facebook Messenger because they're on Facebook. So right. It's kind of a given thing. But there's so many wonderful, powerful uses. So not only is the open rate way higher, the readership is way higher, the completion, the conversions are much higher, and the click-through rate. So the segmenting is so much easier. Everything's real-time, intuitive. I can see real-time when people are clicking on buttons and stuff. So you can really learn more about your users and shift how you give, what type of content they give, how you send content, and the type of medium that you're going to be sharing based off those statistics, which is just so much more powerful than email. I don't believe it should replace email. I think it can do things email can't do. There are things email still are better at, like long form type of content, right? But if you can learn how to use these chatbots and messenger marketing, there's a huge opportunity there to capture new leads and your audience in ways that are much more engaged than email, which is passive.
Right. So being devil's advocate, you own your email list.
You do.
Facebook owns your messenger.
Not exactly.
Stuff. So let's talk about that a little bit.
So because you're using a third-party tool generally, I mean, if you know how to code with Python and stuff, you can certainly build a custom-coded chatbot through Facebook. That's not what I do. Yeah, no thanks. I'm just going to use the easy drag and drop tools. So I use ManyChat, and in ManyChat, I can actually set it up so that, and I would recommend, no matter what platform you use to build your chatbot, that you're capturing emails and stuff. So I could say, hey, is this your email? And Facebook will generate the email that they use for their Facebook, and all they have to do is click to confirm or type in a new email. You capture all that information, and it's stored in your ManyChat, but then you can also use a tool like Zapier, and you can export that real time, again, into your CRM, into your email systems. So that's a safeguard, and I would recommend you do that anyway. You can also download your Facebook user IDs for all of the people who subscribe through ManyChat right anytime. So if you get closed down or Facebook shuts you off, you could still grab at least the user IDs and create custom audiences. But the way to safeguard against what you're talking about, like I don't want Facebook to like own my content, rented land, right? Is that put in steps in your chatbot, whether you're giving a lead magnet or doing a webinar, where you're still asking people for a contact information, generally an email, and you can base it basically like you could say, hey, I have, on your Facebook page, hey, I have this lead magnet, it's this checklist, click this link, we're going to send it right to you. You send it and you say, by the way, can we grab your email list? We'll send you another, maybe an additional one, or another this one again, just so you don't lose it. You can keep it in your email. And that way you can export that email and have that as your own database. So you control that.
Okay. That's really powerful. I love that. The follow-up with, is this your email? And then it auto-populates.
That's totally auto-populates.
Really simple.
Exactly. It makes it quick and simple for the end user, and it's much more accurate for you.
That's awesome. Well, I think this is just awesome information, but I really want to get into some tools, and I know you have some really great tools that you recommend that you use. So let's talk about that for people that are new and really just want to jump in and get started.
Yeah, so chatbots can be really intimidating. They look hard. They look like you might need, a PhD in coding. You don't. I know very little coding. I get by, but I do not custom code any of my chatbots. I use a tool called ManyChat. They have a free version of ManyChat. If you go with the pro version, which I highly recommend after you dabble a little bit, step up to the pro version, $10 a month for, I think it's up to 500 subscribers. So it's a great place to start when you just want to start dabbling and learning and building it out. Chatfuel is another very popular tool. Again, they have a free version as well. Those are the two that I would recommend. I know there's a ton of tools out there, but those are the big boys on the block, if you will. They have the most stable AI or interface APIs and stuff, and their teams are amazing. So those are the two that I would recommend. In terms of which one is better, it's really a personal preference. I prefer ManyChat because it's very visual. They have a visual builder, and it allows me to see all the flows of where people would go if they click on certain buttons. I'm a visual gal. I like to see what I'm building out. So that's really my main reason I went with ManyChat. But both of them basically do the same thing, and it's really a drag and drop situation on building out your chatbot. So I would check out either Chatfuel or my personal favorite, ManyChat, for your chat building needs. And both have free versions right off the bat. So
nice. So I know when you're getting started, I know when I started my first chatbot, I was like, there's so many moving pieces that you have to walk through where you're like, okay, well, if they answer this, yes, then you have to have this answer. And then that goes to another answer. And then if you answer no, then it's the same thing.
Yep.
Is there a way that you map that out, or you figure that out ahead of time, or do you just do it on the fly? Or
Right. So there are tools out there that you can pre-plan your chatbot. I don't use any of them because of ManyChat's visual flow builder. It allows me to do basically the same thing where I can visualize everything right there before I launch it. So I'm not a big fan of planning in a third tool and then bringing it over, because there's really no way to, like, you spend all this time to build it. There's no way to export it and easily import it into ManyChat, for instance. So you're just adding more to your plate. So because of the visual builder within ManyChat, I would say your best bet is to just build it right there and visualize it, and just don't go live with it until it's done. Now, if you want to kind of play with it a little bit, one of my favorite things, and I don't have one right here in front of me, but I usually have a notebook, which is like sketch paper. And I have, like, these are my chatbot markers. And I, like, will color code things, and I'll sketch out how I want kind of things to go. Again, I'm just a very visual gal, but if you're not super visual, you just want to kind of get an idea, you could just write kind of a diagram notes. Like, here's what I want. Here's the first question. Here's what I want to do. How am I going to get them from A to B? And it doesn't have to be a huge chatbot. In fact, some of the best chatbots are the shortest, most simplest ones. Because again, people don't want to sit there all day on their phone or on Facebook chatting with your chatbot, right? We want to get them from the fastest way to get them from A to B without, like, seeming crazy or pushy. So yeah, I would say you don't really need a third-party tool anymore, because these tools have those capabilities built in. Just use the visual builder to kind of visualize it. Or if you're like me, you want to sketch it out, go ahead and do that on a piece of paper. Those are my favorite ways to build out my chatbots. But I used to use third-party, like an additional tool to, like, diagram, if you will, your favorite diagram tool. There's plenty out there. But then I found that I'm, like, spending all this time to build it. Okay, I'm ready. Now I got to go rebuild it. And it's just kind of a pain.
Right. That totally makes sense. So I'm going to take us back in our conversation when you were going through different ways to get started. And I want to, because ref URL makes sense to me. I do web design, it makes sense to you, but it may be like, can we just walk through an example of how you would use a ref URL and what that
Absolutely.
is?
So I'm using ref URLs almost every day on my Facebook page. Feel free to go over there and check it out. So even when I use a comment tool, I use a ref URL. Let's see, I have one on my Facebook page that I can walk you through verbally. Let me go run and grab that real quick, because I literally just posted one yesterday. So for those of you listening, I'm going to walk you through verbally. But if you want to see it visually, you can certainly go check out my page.
So a ref URL, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically a URL or a domain that you are sending people to where they want to.
It will open up Messenger.
Right. Yeah. So it'll open Messenger, or sometimes you may think of it as if you have an opt-in that you're trying to get people to go and collect, it's going to take them to a landing page. That's kind of what we're talking about, is that URL.
Yeah, and I'm going to grab the link and share it with you so that you can share it with anyone else if they want to visualize this process that I'm about to walk through. So I have a brand new lead magnet that I just created called Facebook for Small Business. It's like a 10-page guidebook for beginners of Facebook for Business. And the copy, I have an image that I posted to my Facebook page, and the copy reads, "Calling all small business owners. I created a totally free guidebook for you all about Facebook marketing for business. Grab your copy now by clicking the link below, and I will shoot you a copy in Facebook Messenger." Now, you do have to be explicit when you're getting people into Messenger that it's going to open Messenger, right? And then there's the link. It's just, I actually use a link shortener, a branded link shortener, but they will, like ManyChat, will give you kind of a longer link. I take that link, I use Rebrandly personally. So my link is stellar.tips/FB guide. They click on that, it opens Facebook Messenger, and it'll say something like, "Thank you for your interest in my Facebook guide. Is it okay if I send you messages via Facebook?" And then there's a yes button and a no button. And then the yes button, they click yes, and it goes, "Great. Here is access to the guide. Go ahead and click here. It'll open right up. Would you also like a copy sent to your email? If so, is this the right email? Just click to confirm." So that's the yes. And then if they say no, you say something like, "I'm sorry that you feel that way. I can't send you the thing, obviously, but if you'd like, I can send it to you via email. Just click here to confirm." So that's basically it. I mean, that's
okay. Awesome.
That's how I use the URL. And then I can also share that URL in an email blast, basically saying the same thing.
Right, which is where I was going next is, okay, so they're subscribed. Let's just say they said yes.
Yeah.
And now when you come out with new content weekly or daily or whenever you come out with it, you can send it to them.
Yeah,
correctly.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that a little bit and how powerful that is.
So when they come into my chatbot, in the back end, the thing that I've built out is as soon as they confirm I can send them messages, I add a tag, and the tag is attached to anyone who says yes, and it's something like Facebook business subscribe. So anytime that I have content that is about Facebook tips, Facebook for business tips, which I'm going to be doing a lot on my page coming up because this is all part of a series that I'm doing, then I will send out a broadcast, which is basically like you would broadcast an email. You're sending an email. Same concept, but in Messenger. And I would say, hey, are you interested in learning about how to do Facebook ads for your business? And they could say yes or no. If they say yes, it'll be great. I'm doing a live training this week at noon. Click here to subscribe to that. When I go live, I'll send out another broadcast to everyone I've tagged that have subscribed. And I'll say, hey, I'm on right now. Come over. So there's all these different, it's hard to explain verbally,
right?
There's all these different pieces that you can tie together where you're tagging along the way and you're making sure that the people who are interested are getting the stuff that they want. And that means that your click-through rates are going to be higher, your action rates, people are going to show up for your live broadcast. If it's a live broadcast, a webinar, if it's a webinar, they're going to read content on your blog if it's a blog. And the beautiful thing about all of that is the chatbot helps you beat the Facebook algorithm. And that's the thing that I think is not said enough, is that Facebook is killing us, right? It's like, I used to have great reach and now it's even less. Well, my page is still getting phenomenal reach because in the back end, I have these chatbots that are running and they're going to the right people based off what I'm posting or what I have coming up, whether it's a blog post or a new lead magnet or a Facebook Live. And those all in the end can lead to more sales because I'm consistently in front of the right people. It's the funnel. We have all the people at the top who barely know us, and then we're kind of filtering down until we have the most ideal client. And I think a lot of people are afraid that, well, what if people unsubscribe from my email or from my chatbot? They're afraid of losing people. What they're forgetting is that's part of the process of funneling, right? We don't mind if these people drop off. We want these people.
Right.
And it's the same concept with chatbots. We're just segmenting until we have like our ideal group of raving fans who want to buy from us and consume our content.
So that being said, if you you have people on your list, on your subscriber list for let's just say Facebook ads, and then they decide they don't really want to hear Facebook ads, do you give them the option to opt out at some point? Or is it every time you send them content, do you just say, I have a new Facebook ads video that walks you through how to segment your audience. Do you want to see that? Yes or no? And if they say no, then they go to a different pile, or these are all best practices. You don't have to do it this way.
By the way, anyone can anytime type in unsubscribe. It's built into ManyChat and I believe into Chatbot, and they unsubscribe and you can't send them messages once they unsubscribe. Like you literally get taken out of the list automatically. It's not like email where I'll get around to it. They literally do not subscribe. But I actually build in every time I send a message, I put a little quick button at the bottom that just says unsubscribe. If they don't want any more from me. And that's cool. Just like I explained, I don't mind if people drop off. But yes, as I'm segmenting them, so are you interested in Facebook ads? Yes, obviously we want to tag them with Facebook ads. No, obviously we don't want to send them any more information about Facebook ads because that's going to annoy them, right? So then I might send them another message like, okay, no worries, no big deal. Hey, would you like to continue to get information about Facebook for business in general? And then they could say yes or no. And so you're giving them more choices. Just don't overwhelm them, because if they say no, they probably don't want to sit there and chat with your chatbot for very long.
Right.
But just maybe one more choice, and then you're just tagging them correctly just to make sure they're getting the information that is relevant to them.
This has been so awesome, and I want to be respectful of your time. Do you have any last minute tips that you want to throw out there and let us know that we absolutely have to know before we get started?
Yeah, I would say get started is the first tip. Like a lot of people I think are just intimidated. And like I mentioned at the very beginning, sometimes the most powerful chatbots are the simplest chatbots. So just get in there and create a simple welcome message chatbot or a simple menu. And then you can build from there. You don't have to build, like that was a mistake that I did in the very beginning, is I thought, oh, I have to spend all this time and build this amazing looking chatbot with all these crazy flows. And of course you're proud of it because it's beautiful. You're like, wow, I built this. And then it literally is the most useless chatbot in the world because no one's going to go through all that, right? So build based off of what is useful. What would bring value to your customer, your client? And if it's, I just want to get people into my chatbots, my goal, then I'm going to create like a checklist or a lead magnet and just say, hey, comment here or click here. And I'm going to send it to you in Facebook Messenger, and just keep it simple. So I guess that's the big takeaway is KISS. That's what we used to call it in college. Keep it simple, stupid, right? I don't think they do that anymore because PC, but that's how I learned it. So do the KISS method. Start small, start simple, and then build a chatbot based off a need, not just cause.
Right. That's awesome. Well, Kelly, I would love for you to tell everybody where they can find out more about you and find all of your awesome videos that I have already stalked, but other people probably want to know that in case they need help getting started, and they likely will. I would love for them to be able to find you.
Great. Well, I can be found anywhere online at Stellar247. That's STELLAR247. If you want to learn more about my trainings, I have a ton of YouTube trainings. Be warned, they are in the style of the 80s because I like to have fun. And they are on YouTube at Stellar247.
And they are awesome, and they are really fun. Thanks so much for being here today. And I know that this has been super informative, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Feed You Podcast at www.elisaconnor.com/podcast.